Hi ladies, so I am 33 weeks pregnant this week and I'm going to let you know what's been happening this week. Um, so there have been some changes that come along with the end of pregnancy this week. So the first thing I have on my little list here for the week is I started taking red raspberry leaf. A lot of people drink it as a tea. I'm not a tea drinker. I haven't figured out a way how to make a tea out of red raspberry leaf that I like. So I take the capsules. And so for the past week, I've taken one capsule a day. It's my doggies over here. And for this week, I'm starting 2 capsules a day. And then I'll increase it every week. The dosage is typically, if George, no. Do not eat my breakfast. My breakfast is over here and the doggy is trying to get it. So the dosage I've been reading is about 2 capsules a day per meal. So 6 a day. And that's just, I just don't want to take that many capsules. So I'm just going to add 1 a week and see how I feel. The point of red raspberry leaf is the uterus is a muscle, basically. And so if you want to build any other muscle, like your arms or something, you'll lift weights or work out and use body weight and do something with that muscle to make it get stronger. So what red raspberry leaf tea or red raspberry leaf capsules do is they make the uterus contract more than if you weren't taking it. It's not like known to induce labor or anything like that. It doesn't stimulate the uterus that much. But what it does is it kind of helps the uterus contract and like Braxton Hicks basically. And my last pregnancy when I took it, I noticed over time that like my Braxton Hicks were like really uncoordinated before I started taking it. Like it would get tight one area or another and it would last for like 2 minutes, and then like they were never like the same. And once I started taking it, I noticed that the Braxton Hicks that I did have seemed more coordinated. Like they stopped and started the same way, and they lasted shorter periods of time, but they were stronger. And so basically it just helps tone the uterus. And for me, what I noticed was it made my contractions, what I would say in labor, more productive. Like they were more regular every time I had them. So I took those last pregnancy. I am starting them again now. You can take them earlier in pregnancy. Highly recommend you do your own research. Don't take my word for it, and ask your provider as well if it's something that you're interested in thinking about. With my last pregnancy, I also started taking evening primrose oil around this time. I'm not going to do that this time because new research is showing that it can increase your risk for bleeding, and since I'm already at risk of bleeding, I am going to skip that this time. But evening primrose oil, if you want to know why people take it when they're pregnant, and you wouldn't want to take it until the end of pregnancy. But it's a prostaglandin, and it can help like soften tissues and thin out the cervix and things like that. So those are the supplements I've changed this week. I'm also taking probiotics, and I'm doubling my dose because when I had my whole tooth thing, I was on antibiotics, and that kills the good and the bad bacteria. So I'm adding in strong, good bacteria back into my gut. So hopefully that can help recolonize me, and then also it helps with group beta strep, which I will have that test in the next appointment or 2. I'm not sure if they'll do it next time or the time after that. So hopefully taking the probiotics helps that test be negative as well. So this week I've had several people tell me that it looks like the baby dropped. I don't know if I feel that he has. I do know that I'm waking up at least every 2 hours to pee this week at night, and I was getting like 4 or 5 hours of sleep before. So maybe he dropped. I don't know. Last night when I was laying down, I swear he turned transverse and he was trying to flip breech again. And so I put my hand like on my side and stopped him from turning. So he didn't make the full flip, but I feel like if he dropped, he wouldn't have been able to move that much. So I don't know if my belly is just lower or what, but several people have said it looks like your belly got lower. And then also this past week, I've really noticed my belly button is like really sore. And this baby, when I had my other two, like I feel like my hips spread out more, and I had really achy hips all of the end of pregnancy, and my belly was more like wide. And with this baby, my hips, I don't feel like they're spreading out as much, and the baby is like all coming this way, like straight out. And my belly hasn't stretched that way before. I mean, obviously it stretched when I was pregnant, but like it's like much more round this time. And so my belly is itchy just from my skin stretching in a different way than it has before. So my chiropractor, he's one of the people who thought the baby dropped. Like he thought my belly looked different. But then I was telling him how like my belly button hurts because it's, the baby's growing out instead of this way. And he was like, oh yeah, that's probably because I was in pretty good physical shape when I got pregnant. I was like working out regularly and doing like P90X and some CrossFit stuff. And so he's like, yeah, your stomach muscles are probably just stronger, and so the baby is not like going wide, it's going out this way. So that's for the belly. The kicks are getting really strong, and so there are two different kinds of movements that I feel right now. One of them, the best way I can describe it is like it feels like there's an ocean in my belly. Like it just feels like waves like moving in my belly. And I'm sure that's the baby kind of trying to move but running out of room. And the OB was like, when they were listening for the heartbeat at my last appointment, she had her hand on my belly and she felt all of the movement, and she's like, that is crazy how he's like just constantly moving. And I was like, I know, it feels like there's the ocean in there. Yes, so that was interesting that she said that. And then the other kicks that I feel are just kicks or punches, and they're just getting strong. When the baby can get a good kick in, it like kind of catches me off guard, and I have to like kind of support wherever it's kicking because it can be strong. And I'm also feeling, and if you've been pregnant, you know what I'm talking about, but the sharp stabbing pains in the cervix. They don't really know for sure what's causing it, but probably the baby is kicking a nerve associated with that area. In labor, when you feel those, for me, when I felt sharp pains in my cervix, I was dilating. But it, that was a regular interval lasting a certain amount of time, coming more frequently. So it's not like that. It's just like a couple times a day I'll get that sharp stabbing pain. And a lot of people describe it as lightning crotch. Like if you Google it or see in the baby center chat rooms, like people will talk about it, and that is starting to happen. And I've had that with all of my pregnancies. So I think maybe it's just could be just the cervix like getting ripe and ready for labor too. So I don't know. It's usually associated with a kick, though. Like, I usually feel movement and then that. So, my legs are swelling, and I've got poison sumac, like, all over my legs, and it's healing-ish now. But, I don't know if the swelling is so much associated with the poison sumac or the pregnancy. I don't know. But, it's, the poison sumac is hopefully what I feel like is getting better now instead of worse. And I've been able to just keep my feet up for a few days to try to help everything with the poison sumac heal. So the swelling is better when I can keep my legs up, but I'm definitely noticing some swelling, which happens to me, like, with pregnancy. And I've gained, my scale says 6 pounds this week, and it's got to be fluid because I haven't, like, eaten any different than normal. And I don't think the baby gained 6 pounds and the swelling started, so I think I'm just retaining extra fluid now at this point. And with both of my other pregnancies, I gained 50 pounds, and then like 35 pounds fell off, like, within 2 days of having the babies, and then the rest I had to, like, work off. But I've retained a lot of fluid in my legs when I'm pregnant, so it's not the prettiest thing. But yeah, that's happening. So we had our hospital tour, and that was good. We got to see the labor and delivery rooms, the triage rooms, the nursery, the NICU. We didn't go in the NICU, but we got to see where the NICU was, where the surgical suites were for C-section, the postpartum rooms, all of those things. And they've only changed a couple of things since I had Annabelle there. But they have a new, like, cafeteria and food menu and stuff, so that's exciting because last time it was just, like, normal hospital food, and now it's like we went to the cafeteria to, like, see the food. It looks really good, so I'm excited about that. And symptom-wise, the only other thing that's hitting me really hard this week is, like, being tired. But it's weird because my body is, like, my internal clock is, like, changing because I want to sleep in the mornings, and then I want to stay up really late. And that was normal for me when I worked the night shift because I was up more at night than I was during the day. But I haven't worked the night shift. It's coming up on 2 years now, and so I've been on a normal, like, go to bed early-ish, wake up early-ish, and now it's like I want to go to bed at, like, 2 in the morning and then sleep until 10. So that's odd that I've had this, like, change in how I want to sleep. And then, throughout the night I'm waking up a lot to go to the bathroom. And I think it's, like, that part, like, the waking up all the time part is, like, I feel like it's your body's way of, like, getting used to waking up at night because I notice I wake up at, like, the same times I would wake up to, like, Nurse Annabelle when she was a baby. Like, I wake up at, like, if I go to bed by 10, I wake up at midnight and 2 and usually, like, 4 or 5 and then 7 for the day. So yeah, I'm just waking up a lot, and that I think is adding to the tiredness. So this week, the bed nest arrived, the co-sleeper that I got, and I will show you some pictures, and then I will review it, but I don't want to review it until I use it. So basically what the bed nest is it's like kind of like a bassinet, but you can attach the frame of it to your bed, and then there's, like, a Moses basket type wooden thing that goes on the top, and it, like, clicks in there, and then the sides, so the ends of the basket are wooden, and the sides are like these mesh panels, and they can open and then lay down flat with your mattress. So in the night, there's no like lifting baby up and out and over. It's just like you can pull the baby right to you or put the baby right back. And then the sides are mesh so you can see in all the way. And you can leave it down. I don't think I will because there's a metal bar in the middle, and I feel like that would not be comfortable to like have laying next to you. But yeah, there's that, and then so you can leave it up, you can leave it down, and it's easy to get the baby in and out. You can see the baby. I think it's going to be really, really nice for co-sleeping safely, and still having the baby right there. And like if the baby needs a hand on it, like that was always a thing with the babies, is like they were okay if they knew you were right there. And so you can like put your little hand and pat the baby, and you know, not have to be sitting up to do it, like up and over some bassinet or something. So I'm super excited. I took some pictures. You've probably already seen them by now, but I just put a teddy bear in there because I don't have a baby. I'm not going to put one of my big kids in there, but I wanted to see like how level it gets with my bed, and how I could see the baby, and how it will be lifting the baby in and out, and how if I have to get up in the night, how I can maneuver around it, because that was always an issue with that's what we use with the other two, is like it was so long, I had to like scoot down to the end of the bed and then swing my legs over and then get out of the bed. And when you're sore from birth, especially after my son, I had like a ton of stitches. It was terrible. Like scooting down to the end of the bed was like really difficult. And this is so that like it ends right where like my hips would be if I was laying down. So I didn't have to do any crawling to get in and out of bed, which was really nice too. So I really like the bed nest, and you can check it out. Just like Google bed nest, and they're on Facebook too. And you can see, we wound up purchasing it, so we own it, but you can also rent it. And we only purchased it because they had a sale. And so if you watch the Facebook page, they will tell you when a sale is coming, and we got it for like really pretty, I think we paid $300. But then the plan is we're going to then resell it. Locally, there's plenty of people in our community who would love something like that, and it's a little tricky to get ordered because the website is like overseas, even though they ship it from the US, because it's not an American product. They just happen to be able to ship in the US too. But like I had to call my bank and like get them to approve the transaction, because it was, I don't know. It just depends on what credit card you use. Like I was using a debit card, and they were like, we can't do that. And so I wound up using just a regular credit card and then paying it off. And that worked, and I didn't have to call or anything. But sometimes I think if you use your bank card, it's not going to work for you. But it's kind of a hassle to get ordered. That's what I'm saying. So I'll be able to resell it locally. Not for $300, but for a fair price. So that's what we decided to do, because if we would have had to pay the rental, we would be left with nothing. So I just thought we'll buy it, and then we'll subtract the rental fee that we would have paid, and then that's what we will charge when we resell it. So I have a picture of my belly. It's when I was laying in bed, and I was having a contraction. And like you can see in this picture, the baby is all to one side, and it's because the contraction, you can see where the baby is, but you can see like my belly is like, it's all baby. It's crazy. So yeah, you saw that picture, and I will show you the belly now, and that will be it for this week. All right, here's the belly. And from the front, and from other side. But yep, it's pretty much all belly there. And I have a couple stretch marks from my last pregnancies. But my belly seems to be growing a different direction this time, so I'll probably get more stretch marks, I think. Coming up this weekend, we have my doula prenatal and then also maternity pictures. And so that's what's exciting coming up this next week. And then after that, then I will do my birth preferences video. I'll probably just include it in the next vlog possibly. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Say bye.
Bye, hi, Jackie.
What? Use words. Silly girl.
I said, TV or water or honey.
It's TV and water and honey. All right, you're a silly girl. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.